Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Rylee Meek is dropping
What it is, Rylee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I've got a real treat for you, or maybe I should say a Rylee treat for you. Folks, Rylee Meek in the studio today. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, man. Happy to be here.
And you flew a long way to be here. I know you're traveling around, kicking ass, taking names, making millions. Making millions?
Yeah.
Millions. And as you all know, I bring people that are hustling and figuring shit out to you, the Bomb Squad, so we can help get past challenges, situations, and brain damage in our own lives and business. So if you guys haven't heard of Rylee Meek, he's the founder and CEO of the Social Dynamic Selling System, which basically, in a nutshell, turns dinner seminar marketing into a science. Basically puts a lot of people in a room, leads them to come into this dinner, basically, and really it's a 2-hour opportunity to freaking close them on your product, service, and or whatever it is you sell. Right?
Right.
And I want to hear more about that. So how'd you get into that?
Yeah, man. Craigslist. A Craigslist ad, actually. You know, my background was always selling one-on-one to people, in which I deliver a 1, 2, 3-hour presentation and ultimately try to close the deal after the fact. And I loved sales. That's just been my background, entrepreneurship, but I never really bought into the fact that, they always say you can earn what you're worth, right? Or like your earning ability is uncapped. And I never really bought into that because I really knew I could only earn as much time allowed in the day, right? I could only do, 3, 4, 3-hour presentations a day, again, depending upon what product I'm selling. And I was looking for another opportunity. I actually just returned from Mexico from a failed business adventure at the time. I would have been, 24 at the time, so about a decade ago now. And I came across this ad on Craigslist. It said, work 3 days a week and make $10,000. And I thought, yeah, right. But I had to inquire upon it. And I got on the phone with this dude, and he started talking to me about selling to groups of people. And it didn't really hit home to me of what he was actually talking about until I went out to an event. And I had come back from Mexico, so I didn't really have much going on at the time. I had a small fitness franchise that I had going, but I was just looking for that next opportunity. So I got in the car, I drove a couple hours, walked into this restaurant, and it was, my mind was blown. This guy had 25 people in the room, all facing forward, listening attentively to what he had to say. He fed them dinner, and at the end, he simply asked for an appointment. And he got 7 appointments out of that thing, and for the very next day. And so it completely rocked my world that this dude did one rock star presentation, versus 25 presentations, which is emotionally exhausting. And at the end of the day, he actually got 7 legitimate appointments that truly wanted to know what the price point was of what he was actually selling. So I thought, man, if this dude could do this in 2 hours, he got 7 good qualified leads for the very next day, I'll do a presentation every single week. And on the drive home, I was like, how can I, what can I sell through this format? And so I took a couple of his ideas, added some of my own, and within a few months, man, had my own presentation going. And at this time, mind you, it was a failed business venture that I had just returned from Mexico. And when I mean failed, it was miserably failed. I had $673 in my bank account. My wife was pregnant at the time, and I was in a pinch. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And an idea, a hope, and a credit card. I put my first event together. This would have been July of 2011. And that first 6 months, man, we did 2.1 million in sales.
Bang!
Yeah.
That changed everything, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That changed the game a little. So what's the ideal price point or product that best serves this model?
Yeah. So typically we want to make sure you're going to be able to net profit, maybe around $1,500 or more per sale from these events. And what I mean by that really is there's a certain client acquisition cost involved with that. So if you're selling like a $48 widget with no additional lifetime value to that customer, I'll be the first to tell you that this is probably not the best format to go about it. But if you're selling a $48 widget and you have a value proposition or a ladder that they can climb to have a lifetime value to that customer, then it could be a great format to go through. But typically, our goal, we always start with the end in mind in developing these campaigns, and our goal is to always have at least a 300% return on investment from every single event that we do.
Do you close on the spot?
We do not. This definitely isn't a rah rush
have you ever?
To the back of the room. Yes, we have.
But have you found that it doesn't work as well as following up?
Correct. Because if you've been to any of these courses, they're mesmerized. They rush to the rush into the back of the room, giving them their credit card. Like there's always buyer's remorse there, right? And then you get chargebacks, and it's just a nightmare from an accounting standpoint. So our whole concept is all about know, like, and trust. And really what I mean by that is people do business with those that they trust. And if we are doing a good enough job, from a marketing standpoint, filling the room with your ideal clients, because we handle everything here from filling the room. There's certain groups or businesses that their focus is marketing and filling the room. Then there's some that they will teach you how to speak and sell in front of the room. But dude, we do everything. We're soup to nuts, like fill the room, design your presentation, make sure there's continuity from the marketing piece to the presentation all the way up to the actual close, which is typically a two-step approach where we're at the end, we're simply asking for that follow-up appointment, creating sense of urgency to get people to want to meet with you that evening or the day after to ultimately then be able to ask for the deal.
Where does soup to nuts come from?
Dude, I don't know. I actually thought about that the other day. I was like, I don't know, but everybody says it.
Yeah, I think someone told me one time with a 7-course meal, you start with a soup and you end with nuts. But I've never verified that. I think I recall that.
You end with nuts, huh?
But I'd want to know why do people say soup to nuts? Why not soup to dessert?
Right.
Oh, I'm going to find that out. I've made a note. Not to derail the conversation, but...
You could end with D's.
But when you said D's nuts...
D's nuts.
Okay, so know, like, and trust you. That's kind of, again, that's just a basic principle that I think everyone needs to understand, no matter what business you're in. But specifically, when you come into a room for dinner, just them showing up doesn't necessarily mean they know, like, and trust you, because, goddamn, you're giving them free din-din.
Right.
What kind of dinner? Have you ever done it at a Denny's?
No.
How about a free breakfast? Have you ever tried breakfast?
Yeah, it really depends on who your target audience is,
and what like demographic.
Right.
Like
exactly.
if it's 22-year-old kids, you want to have Lucky Charms breakfast
right.
and shit. No, just joking.
Yeah, we have
just messing
Lucky
with
Charms
you.
about one in the afternoon.
So why does it? See, I always think about how to improve shit or I always question everything, no matter what it is. Like, oh, you're doing that and that's working out. I wonder how else we could do it, or I wonder if we could make that better. Have you tried to do that?
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's what we've been doing for the last decade, man.
And so you've dialed it in.
Yeah, that's really how it started. Was my own companies. The first one we did 2.1 million the first 6 months. At that
how much
point,
of that was profit?
60%.
Did you go out and freaking buy shit and blow it? You had $67, or no? You had $673, and then you had a couple $1,000,000 later.
Yeah, man.
Or 60% of it. 1.2.
Yeah. Well, you pay some taxes and
so
stuff.
What'd you feel like?
Felt great, dude. It was. I mean, I did a lot of stupid things. You're young and dumb, and you make a lot of money, and made a few trips to Vegas. Stupid stuff.
Blow a lot of it.
Yeah, of course I did. But the beautiful thing is, at that point, I was able to hire and train. And by the end of 2012, I had 26 sales guys working in 38 states throughout the country. I was filling events for them and kind of monitoring things from, I was able to work on my business, not in the business. And it was a well-oiled machine. Then with the next year, we did 12 million. Same thing the next year. And at that point, I realized this thing really worked. The product was irrelevant, right? We had a great offering at the time, but then I thought, what else could I sell through this format?
So it's a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Dinner marketing, social selling.
Social dynamic selling.
And there's always something about when everybody's in a buying frenzy. That's why I was wondering, like the name is Social Dynamic Selling System. So I'm sure the whole social dynamic is everyone's at dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason I coined it that was really because in any given situation, there's a social dynamic that's taking place. Like right now, there's a social dynamic. We got these guys here, behind us. Evan's over here. There's you and I conversing, as he's over here shaking his head like that. Whether you go out to a bar and you've got the bartender, the patrons, the other, servers. You go to church, you got the pastor, the ushers. There's a dynamic that's happening there. And what we've been able to do is use that to our advantage in an educational setting, but a sales setting, really. And we're taking people on an emotional journey to create an environment in which they know, like, and trust you, but really create an environment where, for whatever reason, they just want to do business with you, right? Because nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. And so we create that, non-pressure atmosphere, a neutral environment, not them coming into our office for a sales pitch or, the timeshare pitch or anything. We're going to a normal, neutral environment, a restaurant they've probably been to before, and they're free to go at any time. But the moment they show up, you're on stage, right? You're creating that rapport initially, and building that relationship starts from the moment that they show up to delivering your presentation. Dinner comes on out. And if you're a likable enough person, you're gonna get a handful of appointments, right? Unless you're a complete dope, which there's plenty of those out there.
Why don't you just ask them for an appointment without buying them dinner?
Dude, I love this question because a lot of our clients, they think that they don't want to buy their people dinner. And we do a ton of direct mail, right? So we do hundreds of thousands of pieces of direct mail every week. And we'll just we were talking about stem cells earlier. If I was to send a direct mail piece out and just said, hey, do you not want to be in pain anymore? Call this, number. You're going to get a tenth of a percent response rate. But if I send an invitation out that says, hey, come on out to a free steak dinner, we're going to teach you all the benefits of, regenerative medicine, and we're going to teach you how to prevent getting that knee replaced or that hip replacement or whatever it is. And it's just an educational event. And I really call this fishing with corn dogs. And why we always feed dinner, and it's typically like a steak or a chicken, maybe a fish option, nothing like too crazy. We're not going to like an Indian place or
what about a
Mexican
vegan option?
Yeah, there's always going to be a vegan option,
Nowadays, especially.
Yeah. Yep.
More and more of those vegans coming around.
Right. But the reason I mentioned we fish with corn dogs, and what I mean by that is there's not a fish in nature that's going to sustain a quality life eating corn dogs, right? But if I put a corn dog on a hook and I throw it in the lake, they're going to bite it every single time. And once I reel that thing in and get it in the boat, now...
What kind of fish you're fishing for? Well, I've never used corn dogs.
Try it, man.
Well, catfish will bite it.
Sure.
Trout ain't eating corn dogs.
Sure.
Salmon ain't eating corn dogs. Is that what I've been missing after all these years of fishing? I ain't using corn dogs.
You got to try it, man.
I'm going to. Fuck, I might eat the corn dog, though. I love corn dogs. I get what you're saying, though. Stick it in there.
Yep. And then once you get them in the boat, now it's up for you to provide the nourishment, that life-sustaining food. And that's, establishing you as the authoritative figure. They've showed up to eat a meal. But if you're a dynamic enough person, you deliver your presentation, you've wowed them, like you've taken them on that emotional journey, you've hit those pain points and explained how you can, provide relief to it or whatever it is, your product or service that you're selling. Simply asking for that appointment, you've now earned the right. And partly, too, when you're providing a dinner, you're breaking bread, there's a special thing that happens there, especially the law of reciprocity. Like, you've come on out, I bought you a dinner. Now, even if it's subconsciously, there's a handful of them that are just socially obligated to give you the next appointment, the time of day, for that following meeting.
Do you have people in the audience that are loosening everybody up and trying to get them to start talking? Because, you go to these events and it's like, unless you're gregarious, look it up, son, look it up. Unless you're gregarious, it's almost awkward. Like you're sitting there and you're looking around the room and then, this couple shows up and now they're sitting next to you. Is anyone sitting here? No, go have a seat. How are you doing? And then it's like awkward. Now you're all at a table. You don't know technically why you're there. You're probably thinking, who are all these people?
Right.
There's got to be some awkwardness. So do you like put people there to get the flow going and the conversation started?
Like plants?
Just
plants?
Just making sure everybody's comfortable.
No, certainly you could do that, I guess, but there's not a need for that.
There's got to be a lot of mooches showing up for a free dinner.
For sure.
Plate lickers.
Yeah, plate lickers. I love it.
Yeah, like they're showing up knowing full well I ain't buying shit, honey. They probably told their wife on the way in there too. I ain't buying shit, honey.
Right.
You know how many people you bring your plastic bag. We're getting to go shit.
Yeah, dude. They'll bring the zippies in. They throw the food in. They try to ask for 2 orders. Yeah, that happens.
Do you ever say no, sir? 1 dessert per person?
Of course. It depends on how many.
Doesn't the restaurant know already? These guys are particular. They're not patrons of your restaurant tonight. They're patrons of social dynamics. So
yeah. We try to get there in advance and coach the staff, but sometimes depends on where you're at. We go to a lot of rural markets where they're just
Have you ever done it at a hotel?
Sure.
With like a plated dinner.
You bet. Historically, it's a less response rate.
At the hotel?
Yep.
Like a banquet style?
Yeah. Because
they want to see the name brand restaurant. Like, shit, dude, Golden Corral? Free food?
Well, dude, if I go to Evansville, Indiana, I go to Mitchell, South Dakota, like you can get the fine dining restaurant there is like $9.99 top sirloin, and that's it, man. You're not going to the Ruth's Chris there, but those people are good people. Like they are. They're happy as hell just to meet you, and we love going out to more of those rural markets versus
because there's real people out there.
Exactly.
They're just showing up. They're happy to be there no matter what.
Absolutely.
So no conversation starters, nobody in the room schmoozing.
No, we don't have plants or anything like that, but usually it's 1 or 2 people are there. Like this, on Tuesday night, Evan was there. We held these events in Tampa, and we have a registration table.
What was for dinner?
What do we have? We had a steak, salmon, and a chicken.
That's your option. They don't hand out the menu and take orders.
We always no. We want this to be as simple as possible for the restaurant for timing purposes.
And the reason I'm asking all this, folks, if you're paying attention, is so you understand there's more to it than what you think. Like you would think, hey, I'll do this myself. Shit, I'll just do this myself. Why I need Rylee? Well, that's because, dude, you might think that it's just, go pick a restaurant, send out some invitations for dinner. They show up. You have everyone sitting there listening to your pitch. And then you don't sell anything, and you just blew 10 grand buying everyone dinner.
Right.
Well, there's more to it than that. Yep. Number one, a small strategy like, figure out what are the options and then just let them go, probably dinner 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
You need to keep things moving. Who writes the pitch? Because, again, if I hired you guys, I know Lightspeed better than you do.
Right.
And how are you going to pitch Lightspeed? Do you put people in the room for people to pitch, or do you pitch them for the people?
We do either. So typically, most of our clients, we start out identifying. We spend an entire day with them, and we really peel back the onion of their business. So we know what is your true product. And we dive deep into this because, for Lightspeed here, it's like, what's your true product? You do courses, right? You're
Nope. We sell a platform.
A platform. Okay. So what would be? So let's do this. Tell me what do you sell here?
Well, again, ultimately, we sell a lot of things, but our core offering, our core product, is the technology that was developed to host, deliver, track, measure, and create content to train people.
To train people. Okay. So we want to dive even deeper into that, into like, what is it that you're truly selling? Because if you're trying to sell that to somebody, like, I don't even know what the hell that means that you just said. I know what you do.
Think of it like we sell VCRs for people that have movies they want to watch.
Perfect. So what you're really selling then is the ease of a business owner, an entrepreneur, to be able to come into here. It's a a full-on done-for-you approach where you can film, you write scripts, you film, you've got the platform that they have login for their sales teams, their organizations, courses that they can then sell. So you're providing like peace of mind for that business owner to have a done-for-you approach. You're saving him time, money, energy, effort. Like, we want to dive into like the real, true, what is it that you really sell? Like, we always hear the quote that you don't buy a drill because you want a drill, you buy it because you want the hole, right? But we dive way deeper than that. It's like, you don't want the hole because what the hell's a hole going to do for you? You want the hole so you can hang the picture, but you don't even want the picture hung because what's that do for you? You want the picture hung because you want your home to feel comfortable and warm and inviting, and that pride feeling when somebody comes into the house and sees your family portrait on the wall. That's how, starting with the end in mind on how we're going to build the marketing piece, whether it's direct mail or Facebook, whatever it is, to get people to take action, to show up to the event. And then with that information, we want continuity with the entire presentation that you're going to be pitching. You're educating them on, you provide tremendous value, and then at the end be able to simply ask for that appointment. So you send an invitation out like, we're going to, we have a platform here, and then they come in and you're talking about, Corvettes, like that. There's not continuity there. That everything has to be a nice flow, so you have that ideal customer they know what they're there for. Yeah, they're there to get fed, of course, but if you're good enough, dynamic enough, and we have training and we coach people how to present using certain NLP techniques and things in front of the room on how to keep people engaged.
Do you believe NLP works?
Yeah, dude.
It does?
Yeah, do you?
Well, maybe. I mean, I'd have to see it, but,
What do you want to see?
See it work, like, as opposed to not working. In other words, like, certain words work better than others. I know that.
Right.
But I don't know that, NLP just always makes me think of, you're hypnotizing them to buy, but that's not really what it is.
Right.
It's just choosing more ideal words than others.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't say contract. That seems like, contracts. We don't like contracts. But if I say agreement, that's a nicer way to say contract.
Sure.
I don't say put your signature on the contract. I would say, I just need your autograph right here.
Right.
Is that NLP or not?
I mean,
or is NLP, you will now open the envelope in front of you and you will feel wonderful as I begin to tell you.
As I'm falling deeper and deeper asleep. I mean, NLP at the core of it is modeling excellence. If you think about it from just a, hypnosis, there's that whole version of it. But neuro-linguistic programming, for those that don't know what NLP is being able to speak to the subconscious and getting people to, for whatever reason, they just like you and they want to make that buying decision, creating that type of environment. And we're able to do that with certain techniques, especially in group presentations like anchoring and pacing and leading and using embedded commands that we, number one, keep people engaged, because when you're selling to a group of people and they're waiting on their food, it's like they're dozing off and, you got to keep them engaged. But
do you ever do that yourself?
Presentations? Oh yeah, every week, man.
So what about like if Lightspeed wanted to do it? Like I could manufacture something up just to try it, So like, for example, I can put together something called Business Essentials, right? Which I already have, by the way. But Business Essentials, it's pure profit. Why? Well, because it might have cost me $100,000 to film it and edit it, and it's 30 hours of content that can help any business. Why? Well, because it focuses on sales, customer service, compliance, and personal and team development, which is what you need if you want to blow up a business.
Right.
Inserted into a virtual training system that allows you to deliver, track, and measure it with repetition, which is why it works.
Right.
So let's say, for example, I put 50 people in a room that own a business with 50 employees or more, and the whole pitch is you need a training system, not just a training program. And here's what we do. And then, hell, it's $59.95. Mm-hmm. I'm just making that up. And that's all profit. Why wouldn't we do that?
Let's do it.
Well, how many could you possibly get in a room? And see, that's the thing I was thinking is like, if you have a business with 50 employees or more, is a dinner going to sucker you into going? Because, dude, your invitation ain't working for me. Like, right. I'll go get my own dinner. Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm thinking maybe it only works with, like, I don't want to say lower level people, but lower Like, in other words, the financial, like, I don't think you're going to get multimillionaires because you're giving them a free dinner. They have to be interested in what you're talking about a little bit.
Of course. Yeah, and that's a great point. When we're dealing with, for instance, we've worked with a gentleman who was looking to fill a room with accredited investors that would invest into business opportunities. We've done it for real estate investors. They're looking for people that have $500,000 in liquid, money to be able to invest immediately. So our response rate on those is phenomenal from a engagement standpoint, because they're not there for the free dinner. They're like legit care about. But those type of events we're going to hold at a Ruth's Chris or a Morton's, because they're not going to go to the Lone Star Steakhouse or whatever it is, the $9.99 steak dinner. So
now, see, I would. I like Lone Star. They got these
you
buns.
Put ketchup on your steak too?
No, but I always ask for it and make people laugh. They've got, I think it's Lone Star that's got these little honey bun things. Oh
sure.
Shit, dude! But I was raised regular,
right?
Blue collar, hard working family. I'm meat and potatoes.
Yeah. Where were you raised?
Notice how I said potatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're educated and classy, you'd say potatoes. And if you're really obnoxious, you say potatoes.
Right.
I was born and raised in Northwest Eugene, Oregon. Yeah. Right. And I like you ever heard of Carrabba's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love Carrabba's. That's like a Denny's of Italian food.
Right.
But dude, it's good shit. It's getting shabbier lately, actually.
Really?
Yeah, like last couple times I went there, I'm like, dude, did they sell this place or something? But, you could sucker me in for a dinner just to Carrabba's. I don't need fancy. Of course, if you really want to get fancy and you're just going all out quality, STK Steakhouse. Now, people are probably thinking, dude, is this an ad? Is this a slick ad right in the middle of dropping bombs? No, folks, I don't advertise or accept money to advertise yet. Maybe I will someday. But STK, dude, best restaurant in town. I love it. Del Frisco's too.
Sure.
You ever go do Del Frisco's?
I've never been there though.
And these are chain restaurants. They're just high-end, delicious food. There you might sucker me in to get a dinner, but I knew someone had to have a little interest, yeah?
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I wouldn't come just for the dinner.
Right. And how you attract that person might not be direct mail. If we're looking for a business owner, for example, we did events in Tampa, again, a couple nights ago, and we filled the room with Facebook ads. We did, an online funnel. We drove, 60 some leads were generated from it. We had 14, 15 people that we vetted out, and we had them come to the event, and we did, $27,000 in business the next day in meeting with them.
See, that's scary the next day, only because you're proving it over and over again and it works. I'd be all leery. Like, dude, let's just ask them while they're there. Damn it. Let's just sell them, dude. Put down your fork and butter knife and let's get down to business.
I totally get what you're saying, but there is, again, we've done it both ways, but there's something special about them going home, husband and wife, chatting together, and there's no pressure, right? And then when we meet with them again, they like us. It's like we're meeting for the second time. We're friends. We're buddies at that point. And so to do business, for me I've gained the right to actually apply pressure if I want to, versus the night of turn it, buy or cry type of deal.
Yeah, like when I'm passing out dessert, bro, I'd be saying, all right, so listen up. Okay, you're about done here. And then we're going to just shut up and let you eat your dessert. However, okay, if you guys want to do this, raise your hand. Number one, you get 2 desserts. And if you act now, we'll give you extra
sides to go.
Yeah, on your cheesecake. But
we should
I want to know.
dude.
I want to know who's buying shit right now.
Of course. But this is gonna. Here's the thing. There is a process that we've really refined here over the last 9 years. I've taken 7 of my own personal companies to 7 and 8 figures in the first year of every single one of them. We've done over $100 million in doing this.
Just marketing this, like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
See?
Different products.
So,
different
folks,
services.
if you're listening, you're like, son of a bitch, dude, this sounds pretty fun already. Dude, you say you built 7, 8-figure companies marketing solely from dinners.
Correct.
And then you've mastered the process as you were doing it.
Correct.
See, folks, so what about a plumber?
Sure.
What about a landscaper? What about chiropractors?
Yeah, crush it.
Doctors, definitely doctors.
Oh yeah.
Especially cosmetic surgeons, stem
absolutely.
cell. What about like personal trainers?
So personal trainers,
Realtors.
Yeah, realtors. Absolutely.
I just wanted to interrupt personal trainers because I have a bunch of personal trainers sitting there listening, going, "Oh, here he comes! Oh, damn it, Brad! Shut up! Let him talk."
Right. Yeah, definitely. We've done this for trainers, in which that's where the price point is. So if you're charging, if you're training Britney Spears, you make money. But a lot of personal trainers I know are broke. Like they're struggling because personal trainers.
You know why though? Because they don't know how to market. They don't have enough people.
Exactly. They want to they think they can just train, and no matter what business you're in freaking sales. If you think you're a trainer or a doctor, whatever.
I've been forgetting, but that's a bomb there.
About time you give me one, man.
I forgot. We're deep into conversation. Plus, I'm trying to think, man, this could probably help Lightspeed. I know I could put together a product with 1,500 profit in it, but man, it would just kill me to say, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Like. I'm trained to frickin' kill you when I see you.
Let's test it, man. You do one your way. Let's do Days of Thunder. You know this? You run it your way, and then I'll run it my way, and then let's test it.
Same product?
Let's do another
Same
episode.
Product?
Same product.
Yeah, because it has to be same product.
Yeah.
Because I was
Give me
thinking,
a product.
like, I'll give you an example. Multi-level marketing companies.
Okay.
Dude, it's unbelievably valuable to use Lightspeed for MLM companies. I show MLM leaders how to better engage, better retain, train and literally explode much quicker by using Lightspeed. Why? It's got interactivity. There's a whole spiel behind it.
Right.
And I always thought to myself, how do I get the top leaders? The ones making 100, 200, 300 grand a month right now. They don't need Lightspeed to do that. They're already doing it through the old school way.
Right.
Well, I can show them how to enhance the old school way with Lightspeed for maybe, let's say, 25 G's. I could do it for 5, but, do it right, 25 G's.
Sure.
And that's chump change for these people.
Right.
So I was thinking, man, I got to lure them into Vegas, maybe a round of golf or a spa day for the wife, whatever. Bring your wife, come to Vegas, 2 days, all expenses paid, because I want to show them 2 hours presentation on why you should have a Lightspeed system. And I know that if I put 100 leaders, legitimate leaders in a room for 2 hours and showed them why they would need Lightspeed, and it's 25 grand all inclusive, once and done, boom, you're in business, I would bet I'd close 60% to 80% of that room. Anyone that didn't sign up would just either not understand what I was saying, or they're just stupid.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. How are you going to get them to Vegas? How are you going to reach out to them?
Well, that's I'd hire you. How am I? That's the question.
Yeah.
How do you reach those bastards?
Yeah. So,
like, where do you get the addresses to email to when a company hires you and says, "Hey, I'm looking for people that want, fist fights in the parking lot. That's our business." How do you just say, "Okay, let me fill the room full of a bunch of people"?
Yeah. So we always, again, starting with the end in mind, who's your true client avatar? We're going to spend a good chunk of time figuring that out. Is it, blonde hair, blue-eyed women, 6'1" to 6'3"? We can get super specific with that. The data is out there, right? And then we're able to buy that list and craft an invitation that's going to speak to them directly. But if we're like network marketing world, I know a number of the top guys that, they all know each other. So doing an event like that, I think that'd be epic, man. You'd crush it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, you'd have to do it on a commission basis. Because what if it doesn't work? What if they all fly in, get the free golf and the fucking party, and then they leave? And that's where I was going with that. Like, it'll kill me to let them leave. Like, you got them here. Why wouldn't we just close them?
Well, something like that, I think definitely you could have a breakout session and close them at the time. But when we're talking at smaller groups, 90% of my businesses and our clients we're filling a room with 20 to 30 people, right? That's a pretty ideal number. And sometimes it's when I say 20 to 30 people, depending upon your product, it could be 10 to 15 homeowners, right? Because if you're husband and wife, we always encourage them to come together making decisions.
That's how you stay married.
Yeah, exactly. The whole point of the presentation is to overcome every objection before you get the objection, right? And that's how we design all of our presentations. So, and if one of the spouses isn't there to listen to that, then you got to do a whole nother presentation. You're selling them twice at that point. So we want them to come together, and we have 24/7 call center that's taking these RSVP calls. We handle everything. Where literally the salesman, the business owner, just has to show up and throw up, basically do their deal, and then from there, I forget where I'm going with this, man. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Keep going. I like it.
I can ramble.
Well, what I was thinking is when you kept saying that they're supposed to come together, I was like thinking to myself some funny thing to say, but I thought, I'll just leave that one alone. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that when people are listening to this, they're thinking, okay, I hear what the dude did. He figured out this way to get people in a room. He's got it dialed into a science. So how can it help the bomb squad? Well, obviously hire you, reach out to you. And by the way, if anyone wants to do that, that's what you do. That's what you can do anyway. That's one of the things you do. And you go to Rylee Meek, RYLEEMEEK, RyleeMeek.com. Try it for your business, or at least, what do you consult with people?
Yeah. We'll always start out with a 30-minute strategy session just to make sure it even makes sense. Again, if you got a $48 widget, no additional lifetime value, I'm gonna send you elsewhere.
But if you've got a product that you're trying to figure out how to sell, man, this might be the ticket. So just go to RyleeMeek.com. Tell them Bomb Squad sent you. Make sure, and just basically see if it's a fit. Is that free? Will you talk to companies and just see, or is there a fee?
Yeah, no, we do a 30-minute strategy session for free. It'll be myself or someone on my team.
See if it's a good fit.
See if it's a good fit. If it's a good fit, then we'll talk about different levels of engagement of what that looks like. If you need us to design the presentation, just fill the room, or what it is that you're actually looking for.
Yeah, because there's probably a lot of companies be like, dude, you just get them in the freaking seat and I'll sell them.
Right.
And then there's people that'll be like me. It's getting them in the seat. But it's almost like I would want you to help me make sure that the formula for selling it, even though, well, Brad, I thought you're the best salesman in the world. I am, and I think I can. But, dude, you've been doing it for all this time. Why would I question? Like, I'll bet you I'd get up there, blah, 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 and then wonder why I didn't sell any. And you might be like, well, bro, you didn't, because you've been doing it so long.
Right.
I'd listen. I always listen to the expert. I don't try to outthink the expert until I watch them do it a couple times. Then I try to improve it for some reason.
Right.
I don't know why I'm like that.
Well, that's because you're smart.
I'm already trying to figure out, how I could apply this with Lightspeed. Because if you put 500 people in a room and you have a good product, you can close 20% of that room. And if you're making $1,000 a pop, that's $100,000 an event. Shit, I'd want to do an event every week. How many events a week are you doing?
Oh, dude, tonight, it's Thursday? I think we've got 19 events happening tonight.
All over the country, in different cities?
Yeah. Those are just my sales reps. Those aren't, then we have our clients as well that we fill events for too.
And how many employees have to facilitate one?
Like our clients have to facilitate one. So all my sales reps, dude, 19 of them, they're one-man crews.
So they show up, they're the one running the show, running the dinner.
Yep.
And they all know what to do.
They all know what to do.
What if I were out there and I want to be one of your salesmen? Why do you only have 19? Could you grow if you had better or more people to do it? What if I want to learn how to do it?
You want to learn how to be a sales rep for me, or you want to learn how to be a client?
Yeah, I want to learn how to make money doing it. I want to be your competitor. There's got to be a ton of room for people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And again, the difference between us, everybody knows dinner seminars is not, it's been around for decades. Financial advisors have been doing this for a long time. Attorneys, estate planners, it works great.
How come I never get any invites? Am I just not a good target?
You don't make enough money for these financial advisors.
It must be.
So what we've done, yes, we have financial advisor clients we fill rooms for, we consult with, but what we've really done is we've taken this into multiple different verticals, different industries, and that's where we've really perfected it, that nobody else really does everything, where we handle the marketing, the RSVPs, we book the events, the venues. We have, a database of 10,000 restaurants throughout the country that we've used before, that we have relationships with, negotiated pricing. And then, it's nice. It's a nice CRM program that everybody has. Our sales reps, I could log in right now and know exactly how many people are attending my reps' events tonight. And so everything we do is tracked, measurable. The only way that we can scale the way we do is because, I can't physically be at every single event, but I know, what's happening at any given time with our, appointment rate, show up rate, close rate, cancellation rate, things like that.
What do you think is the most ideal product you've ever pulled off in one of these?
Man. Well, I mean, we do dinner seminars to teach people how to do dinner seminars. So naturally, I'm going to say that, right? Because I teach people and it's just my specialized knowledge, right?
So I come to dinner. What's the lead to get me there? Learn how to generate leads. What?
Yeah. This last one we just did. I mean, I'm a true marketer. I'm not like, if one thing works, great. I'm going to continually do A/B testing and see if something's going to work better. But this last one, it was, come learn how we've done over $100 million in the last 9 years. I built 7 different companies, 7 different industries to 7 and 8 figures within each of them within the very, very first year. If you're struggling for sales, or, a consistent, our tagline is really a predictable, a sustainable, and a scalable revenue system.
That's the key.
Yeah, exactly. And what I mean by that is, like, so many people, I think, spend so much time on branding, and branding's great, right? But give me a product, give me an idea, throw a dart on the map, and I will have a room full of qualified people there within 3 to 4 weeks. And nobody gives a shit about what your brand is, and we can sell deals and because revenue cures a lot of things. If you're focusing on building your brand with no sales, I mean, good luck. You got to make sales.
Well, revenue cures all things. That's for damn sure. I tell people, listen, if you want to double, triple your business, focus on 4 areas. Number 1, sales, obviously, because revenue cures most problems. The second one is customer service, though, because you know what's worse than no customer? A pissed off customer.
Right.
That's worse than no customer at all. Like, I'd rather have no customer than a mad customer.
Sure.
So you got to make sure all your employees, know how to love on your customers properly. Then compliance, because one lawsuit for one little thing could get you just clipped. And then ongoing personal development so you can constantly improve. Those are the 4 key areas. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but sales, I say the same thing. It's damn near a cure-all. You want to focus on sales.
Right.
So if you guys are out there, maybe you're not, maybe like I keep saying plumber because I'm trying to think, your average blue collar, hardworking dude out there with a business, how do they do one of these for like plumbing? Maybe not, but maybe you can come to that dinner and figure out how to get people in.
Yeah, so I'll just give you an example. If I sat down with a plumber right now, I'm going to figure out, okay, what type of plumber are they? Are they a jack of all trades, or can we hone in on a product? Could we make this plumber a dude that installs barrier-free showers or walk-in bathtubs? I could do an event right now and fill a room with people looking to stay in their home as long as possible by having a barrier-free way to bathe themselves, right? So the messaging is, we talk about hydrotherapy, the benefits of soaking, but, you don't want to go into a nursing home, right? Like, let's make your home, like, aging in place. Let's make your home accessible so you can stay here forever, right? I could fill a room with somebody like that, and a plumber, they could charge $14,000 for one of these walk-in tubs. They get it for $4,000. They install it, and there's $8,000-$9,000 profit right there.
See, folks, that's why you want to call Rylee. He'll just make shit up that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I want people to think, damn, like, I'm a plumber. How's it going to work? I sell plumbing. That's not, that's a $200 job. Well, no, you can invent a product. You can invent a product that surrounds your business and start a whole new revenue stream or division by this.
Right, exactly. And that's what we've done with a few plumbers. So it's funny you say that. But at the end of the day, you can have why I moved into coaching and consulting versus, I've made a decent amount of money. Financially things are great. But why we've moved into this is because I thought back. I remember clear as day. It was a Wednesday night. I came home from I did seminars Monday, Tuesday, closed deals, and came home, and it was late at night. My wife and daughter were already asleep, and I remember feeling just this like feeling of unfulfillment, where it's just like, yeah, financially this is good, but dude, I didn't give a rip about any of the products I was selling. Like, it's hard to get passionate about certain things, like, because at the time, we were, we did have, we were working with a plumber that I just mentioned, like those walk-in bathtubs. We had some insulation products that we were selling. It's like, I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm the least mechanical person on the face of the earth, to the point where my wife is the one that hangs the pictures in our house. Like I can't do it. Refuse to do it. So I didn't care about any of that, but I knew.
She must love you. I'm the same way. Like my father-in-law always gives me shit because I'll hire someone to do it.
Right.
But it's not that I can't do it. It's just I have other things to do. Exactly. Like I'm not going to sit there and work around the damn house. But you know the stereotype where all the ladies always want the Mr. Handyman guy. I'm not that guy.
Right. And I'm not going to hire some burly handyman to come.
Well, not only that, I don't have the tools, dude. Right. I'm a firm believer in you got to have the right tools.
Absolutely.
I've literally been caught trying to freaking do shit with a butter knife. Like, hey, I'm gonna take all these light switch plates off and replace them with dark light switch and dimmers. And then I'm sitting there trying to use a butter knife because I don't have a screwdriver, and it's like, screw it, dude. I'm gonna call an electrician.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I get made fun of for it. They call me lotion and cologne guy. I'm like, dude, look at my hands, not a callus on them. No. Right. I'm just like that, dude. I don't blame you. Not only that, dude. Have you ever heard, like, if someone washes their own car, when if you, in reality, let's say you average a couple $100 an hour doing what you do, well, you go wash a car to save $30 and you actually cost yourself $170.
Yeah, absolutely.
People aren't thinking that. Right.
Yeah, time is more valuable elsewhere.
Okay, but again, I derailed you. You're not the fix-it guy.
I'm not the fix-it guy, man. So I remember though sitting there that evening, and it was like, this sucks. Like, again, financially life is good, but I just had zero care for what I was doing, and I had just this feeling of unfulfillment. And anybody that's even listening, where if you've made a decent chunk of change, you realize that it's not necessarily all about the money. Right? Unless you don't have enough of it. If you don't have enough of it, it's always about the freaking money, and that's why you're constantly chasing it. But once you have a decent amount of it, then it's like, what else? What's next? What else can we do? And I thought back to the early days of when I was starting out. And I sold siding and windows. I sold business valuations. Like, I sold a lot of things one-on-one, and just that constant struggle of, where's my next lead coming from? Where's my next sale coming from? The feast and famine lifestyle, just the stress of being an entrepreneur or just a sales rep that's out there on an island on their own. And I thought, man, dude, we've got a system here. The product's virtually irrelevant. Is the system the actual product? Is that what we have? And I just started to write, and I laid out everything that we do from building out a campaign, like, how do we identify the true client avatar for that specific product? How do we design a marketing piece that speaks to that person and gets them to take action? How do we negotiate with restaurants? How do we set the room up? Like, that's important. How you're going to set the room up, the timing of when dinner is going to come in. Do you serve dessert? Do you not? How long should it be before people are falling asleep? The type of assets that you have available, how to deliver the presentation, the journey that you're taking them on to get them to know, like, and trust you. And then creating sense of urgency and being able to meet with them the next day to close a deal. And that's really was the birth of social dynamic selling and how I kind of transitioned out. Yes, I still have my own companies, but our focus now, and to kind of answer your question from a while back, like, why don't I have more sales reps? It's like, guys I got going right now, I don't even have to talk to them at all. They're just solid. They're rock stars. They're my generals. They'll be with me forever, because that's my vow to them, is that I will always have an opportunity for you, and they would go to battle for me with anything. And so I'm always going to have an opportunity for them, but my focus now is to help others, coach others how to do what we do, because you may have the greatest product in the world, the greatest service in the world, but if nobody knows about it, you're not doing anybody any good, right? If you build it, they do not come. You have to have a system in place to generate leads and sales on demand, a predictable, sustainable system that without a doubt, if you double your ad spend, you're going to double your income. If you triple your ad spend, you can triple your income. And that's why we design these campaigns the way we do, to have a predictable, sustainable, and then scalable selling system for our clients.
What's the biggest, I don't want to say whack, but let's say takedown, the biggest single takedown you've ever had?
Dude, yeah, I'll give you an example. So a year ago, we talked about stem cells and pain management, regenerative medicine. So we worked with this doc it would have been December of 2018. And he originally, he'd been doing events, Facebook ads, things like that. And he was having a tough time getting people in the room and then closing them. So we teamed up with him, and we were going to do kind of a rev share thing. And I was like, dude, I'll handle all the marketing. I filled 3 separate weeks of over 200 people in a room for him just to talk to. And doctors are great at educating. He educated the hell out of them. But out of those 200 plus people, not only did he not even get a sale, he didn't even get an appointment, a lead. And when we consulted after the fact, we kind of talked through it and was like, dude, what the heck happened here? I've never even heard of this before. And again, they're great at what they do, but they're not necessarily gifted at sales, right? They want to teach you, and teaching doesn't do anything. It doesn't convert any, leads or sales. And so we had an idea after just kind of a little powwow, and I was like, what if I delivered the presentation, right? You're the doctor, you're great, you can be the man, right? But let me deliver the presentation as that educational officer on behalf of you. And we ended up, took some time to put the campaign together, but it would have been in February of 2019 then. We let, the new year happen. We filled the room. We ended up doing three events off of one mailing that we did. We filled the rooms, and my business partner, Scott Thomas, and I flew in, delivered the presentation, met with everybody the next 2 days, and we did $176,000 for that doctor, and we turned him into him, and he was like, what, how is this even possible? Which has, 80% profit margin on that. So that was a nice win for us. And then obviously we worked a deal where now that's what a lot of my guys are doing.
Times 19 just tonight.
Yep.
So what about COVID? Is that cracking you in the nuts?
It did. It absolutely did.
Most towns are opening back up.
They are.
Yeah, but are you afraid of all this nonsense going on? Because, dude, they're not done with us.
Right.
Second wave.
I know.
Arizona, their shit's spiking again.
Right.
It's like, are people stupid, first of all? Like Arizona, they released, they opened up, and now their cases are spiking again. Guys, they continued to test people.
Right.
Don't listen to the stupidity of the news. They're spiking in cases because they're testing more people. Of course, the cases are going to go up. More people had COVID than we knew before we locked down. I always lose followers by talking about this, but I don't care. You know why? Because, dude, it's just, you just can't be stupid, folks. Right. Like, I didn't really, I stayed in my house 30 days when I first heard of it because I'm thinking the opposite. I thought, dude, something major's going on. They're not telling us how bad this is because they're shutting shit down.
Right.
They're not going to shut shit down, the whole economy, the whole world, if this is just some stupid little flu bug,
right?
Like with a little baby death rate. I'm like, dude, they're lying to us. It's going to kill us all. That's what I thought first.
Sure.
Because, dude, who shuts down the economy? So then I'm like, it's never happened in the history of the world.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so let's just stay home. So you stay home and then you start watching. It's like, cases are going up. Well, of course, more people are getting tested. Okay, deaths are going up. Well, that's kind of weird. What'd they die from? Oh, not necessarily COVID.
Right.
It's like, well, then why would you call it COVID? Oh, well, we get paid more if we call it COVID. Okay, so now all the deaths that you're touting aren't even real? And they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The government tells you that. They're saying if they look like they have COVID, we urge them to put down that it's a COVID death.
Right.
Okay, so now you don't even trust the death numbers, but what you can trust is that there's more cases than they found. So when they would say there's 1 million cases and 1,000 deaths, so that makes the death rate this.
Right.
No, it doesn't. It's the 1 million cases that you've tested and 1,000 people that supposedly died that weren't necessarily COVID, but 1,000 confirmed cases. Well, there's more cases than just confirmed cases, right?
Right.
So the cases are more, and the deaths aren't even all COVID deaths, so it's actually way lower. So I started to figure that out quicker than anybody. I started saying that, not anybody, but most people. Then I lost a bunch of followers. Everyone hated me, telling me I'm endangering the world. And now everybody's opening up, and I can see it again. They're going to do it again. I just saw a headline, Arizona spiking in coronavirus cases again. Well, no, dipshit. People continued to be tested.
Right.
It's not because they opened back up. Right. Do you fear that your business will take a hit because of this?
I don't think so, man. I think it's going to be rocky up until November, of course.
As soon as the election passes?
Anybody with a brain should understand that. But what we did, dude, March 16th was flipping ridiculous for us. I had 107 events that week canceled.
Ooh.
A little over $300,000 in marketing that I had out there.
You
should drop a bomb for that one. And we though
I should light a candle for that one.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that's a lot of money that just went out the old, and I'll bet you nobody gave your money back.
No, heck no, man. Because it wasn't. Most of it wasn't like down payments for dinners or anything like that. Most of it was like our marketing. That's what we had. So 107 events, dude. I probably had, I don't know, 1,000 people that were going to be showing up at our events that week, and we had to cancel. Some of them were slower, depending on what state, red or blue state that you were in. Some of them were slower to shut down, where we were able to like put them into not at the restaurant, but then in a private venue where we had food catered in. We were pivoting. My team was like epic as far as making sure we were, servicing our clients. I was in Arizona when this happened. I'm supposedly on vacation, but I never worked harder in my life. Thankfully, the pool was there. My wife could hang out there. But I was in that entire week doing webinars, filming, just getting everything to a virtual platform. All of a normal presentation that we would deliver in a restaurant was up online. And we actually spent more money on marketing then because we weren't, I think any entrepreneur, anytime something's contracting, it's a great opportunity to, get after it and pick up the low-hanging fruit that others, are going to be not spending money on marketing. And I was like, dude, people are at home. They ain't doing anything right now. If we're shut down, let's just open up the ad spend. Let's build this virtually. Let's get this thing going. And that's what we did. We from our stem cell clients to everyone, it was just like our advisors, now they've switched to online webinars. We still offered gift cards for their local restaurant when they reopened as our part of giving back to still provide, money to their local community, things like that. So it was an opportunity for us to really add on another vertical, I guess, within our offering versus just live events, to go online as most people did. But then this is actually our 4th week back now where we've been doing live events, and we're just monitoring each state, again, which ones are slowly opening and which ones aren't. We started out in South Carolina 4 weeks ago and had a great week. I think live events right now are going to be better than ever. No matter what. My
buddy's having one in Nashville right now, dude. It's packed.
You got one coming up, don't you?
Grant Cardone has his boot camp coming up. It's packed.
July, yep.
700 people are already registered, maybe even more by now. That was shit when I talked to him a while back.
Really?
Yeah, dude. People are willing to get out there. It's just like when they say all these riots are happening. Right. All these riots aren't happening. Okay. There's few riots happening. There's few protests happening. They're like, no, you can see them in all the cities over the news. I'm talking about collectively. There's more people not rioting than rioting. Would you agree?
Dude, I'm from Minneapolis.
There's 300. Listen, there's 300 million people in the United States. Do you think there's more people rioting or more people not rioting?
Well, obviously more people not rioting.
Right, but the news won't tell you that.
Of course.
The news says everybody's rioting. Motherfucker, everybody ain't rioting, okay? Right. Everybody's watching the riots. Nobody's rioting except for a few people.
Right.
That's the truth. If they're going to tell the truth, tell the truth.
Right.
There's a few people rioting in Minneapolis and these different cities. Everybody in Minneapolis wasn't rioting. The majority were not rioting. Agree or disagree?
If you're going to put it in that context,
well, that's
agree.
Dude, I just put it in the fucking truth context.
Well,
like
dude,
the
that's
truth
like
is,
saying,
no, but that's what the news is doing to people.
Sure.
They're hyping shit up. They're acting like every black person hates every white person and every white person hates every black person. No, we don't.
Right.
That's not true. There's probably less racism than I think people think. The news is making it seem like there's so much more racism than there is. I don't believe that there's that much racism. I know a lot of fucking friends of mine that are black. No, they're not pissed at me. I'm not pissed at them. Nobody's fighting. Like,
right.
But you see them on TV. Oh my God, this is going to turn into a race war.
Right.
Everybody's going to be vandalized. Get guns and hide in your homes. The looters are coming. The looters are coming.
Right.
They're not fucking coming.
No.
Very few people are looting.
Yeah. When you put it in that context, yes, absolutely. But dude, Minneapolis flipping burnt to the ground. I mean, it's a shit show there.
You talk, see, listen, again, dude,
I
downtown burnt to the ground,
saying.
like an area.
Yeah, dude.
The whole Minneapolis is not burnt to the ground, dude.
Of course not the whole Minneapolis.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
That area,
dude.
like,
you better get on my
miles.
side. This is going to cost you. The news costs you money.
Dude, what do you mean?
Because when people think that, like, oh, I ain't doing the live event in Minneapolis,
100%.
Rylee said it was burnt to the ground.
100%. But I'm not going to let you say that that's not happening.
No. It's definitely happening.
But I agree.
But it's not happening as much as people think.
Sure.
Like right now, you could go down to Del Frisco's, put on an event. People will show up. No one's going to get mugged, and there's going to be no protests.
Right.
But right now, you look at the news, and it's like, I'm not going to Vegas. Everybody down there's rioting.
Right.
Ain't nobody rioting here except for a few people downtown.
Of course.
So that's all I was trying to say. Of course it's happening. Like that. Oh, it's happening.
Right.
But it's not happening to the degree they're saying it's happening and making people believe that it's happening.
Right.
I say, get your ass out of your house, take your mask off, quit being a freaking idiot. Understand that these guys are hyping shit up. It's not as bad as they say.
Correct.
I know doctor after doctor after doctor that tells you don't wear masks. It will harm you more than it will help you.
Right.
So don't wear masks. Fauci said, there's no reason to wear a mask. Then he said, wear a mask. Then it's like, don't leave your house. There's asymptomatic people. Now the WHO is saying asymptomatic won't spread it. Right. It's like, dude, come on. This is just a political or New World Order, deep state type weird shit going on. And it's crazy. But at the end of the day, don't believe the hype, man.
Right. Get
Get your business going. Focus on your business. Focus on growth. Call someone like Rylee who can freaking fill up a room. And if the room can't fill up because of the news, well, then don't you feel stupid believing the news? Like, dude, just fill up the damn room.
Right.
They will come. But you also have a book.
Yeah.
The book is called Food for Thought: How to Use Dinner Seminar Marketing to Grow Your Business in Ways You've Never Thought Possible. Now, if you guys are sitting there thinking, man, this has to cost a little bit of coin because you ain't doing this shit for free. That's true. But your book's what? $20? $30?
$15.
$15.
Yeah,
Go get his book, folks. RyleeMeek.com. RYLEEMEEK. You got a lot of E's in your name.
No, dude, yeah.
Your name's real easy.
Easy.
Get it? Huh? You know you're going to use that now.
Of course.
RyleeMeek.com. Folks, if you want to follow him on Instagram, at TheRyleeMeek.com. And then, you also have a podcast, Sales Conversion Podcast.
Sales Conversion Podcast. Yeah.
Talking about sales, getting them converted, shit like that.
Yeah. It's been fun, man. We've been working on that leading up to COVID happening. And then when things, everything shut down, it allowed me to, dude, I'm doing probably more interviews than you during that time with the last couple of months. So just every single day I had a couple new guests on. So we've had some really good guests. And
do you do them over Zoom?
Yeah.
See, dude, make them come.
I need to get it set up like this, man. This is great.
Well, not only that, but same reason as your dinner. You want them to show up.
Right.
See, like if I were going to try and sell you, I'll do it easier here.
Of course.
Than over a Zoom meeting. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Of course, if you wouldn't come or we're in quarantine still, well, then you have to Zoom.
Right.
But if I were you, I'd invest a little time setting up a little studio at your office. Where are you based out of?
Minneapolis.
Oh, you're still based out of there?
Yeah, we have an office in Tampa as well, so probably do it
Well,
there.
ain't no one going to Minneapolis, bro. The fucking whole
The place
town's burned down.
right?
Yeah, everybody's rioting. you step foot into Minneapolis, dude, you're dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
Come packing.
Yeah, don't go to Minneapolis, folks. The whole town's burning down. So when you're driving around, what's it look like?
Dude, everything's boarded up. My wife works downtown, and so it's like it's sad. It really is because it sucks because it's not really.
Is your house boarded up?
No, I'm
Well, then everything's not boarded up.
I'm not downtown.
Huh? So it's only downtown?
Yeah.
See how the story just changed, folks?
Didn't change.
This motherfucker's like mainstream media.
No. I just don't skew it like you do. Like, how many people are in the country? 300 million?
Well, what I'm trying to do is give hope, folks, because believe it or not, there's not a lot of dudes like us that'll just go out there and freaking keep rolling. I mean, there is a lot, but comparatively, there's not a lot of dudes like us that'll just not let it affect us. More people are letting it affect them than not. So I'm trying to give them the flip side of things.
For sure.
And it's the truth. That's the bottom line. It's the truth, folks. There are less people rioting than rioting by far.
Absolutely.
But everybody thinks everybody's rioting. Every time I talk, oh, dude, I saw the news. Shit, what's it like out there? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, dude, everybody in Las Vegas looks like they're tearing down the town. I'm like, fuck, dude, I've been all over this town and I haven't seen one rioter. Right. It was funny, too, because the other day we were going to dinner at Del Frisco's. And we drove by and there was like 4 people out with a picket sign. And someone goes, oh, some rioters. And I said, dude, those aren't rioters. Those are picketers. Those are like, they're protesters, if anything. Right. There's a difference between protesters and rioters.
Right.
You can tell riots because there's violence and cars on fire. We didn't see anybody. And then we pull up on the curb and there's this, he looked kind of homeless, you know, but he looked a little rough. And I said, dude, there's a rioter. There's just one. He's waiting for his friends. I've been all over this town, dude. There's no rioting going on. Now,
that's great.
When I say that, I'm like the opposite of the news because there is rioting going on. There is protesting. But folks, if you want to make some money and quit worrying about stupid headlines, freaking put on a seminar. And if you want to learn how to do these for yourself, that's another seminar you put on.
Yes.
So where would people go? Just RyleeMeek.com?
Yeah, RyleeMeek.com. SocialDynamicSelling.com is kind of explains our format, you know, how we work. It's, you know, our dinner seminar blueprints on there that they can download just to get an idea of how we engage with a client, the different stages that we'll take them through as far as like identifying that true client avatar, how do we design a marketing piece to get them to take action, how to set the room up, things like that. So social dynamic selling.
You just give that away?
Yeah, it's a blueprint.
Damn, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, frick, folks, you heard it here. Make sure you share this out in case you know somebody that might want to do the same, even if you don't. And I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Especially all that way, dude.
I know.
And I appreciate you helping the bomb squad figure out how to, you know, create additional ways to generate opportunity.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a test, man.
And if you
test,
I will.
I'll do one.
No, I will, folks. I'll test it out for you, also, man. Tune in next time. He'll be back. I'm going to do an episode 2. Till next time, folks. Share this out. Keep it real.